himself who says, "Hello, yes, my name's Joe King. I'm not joking, but I prefer you all refer to me as Jurist Dr. King. Anyway, yes, I'm usually portrayed by Philip Seymour Hoffman, but as he is in solidarity with the Writers Guild of America strikers, he is currently unavailable, and so therefore I am coming out here as myself for the first time. In fact, all the writers and the performers of Saturday Night Alive are all standing in solidarity with the strikers and refuse to be on the show. That also includes my alter ego, the narrator and owner of Saturday Night Alive, Tom Murphy. Mr. Murphy ordered me, his alter ego and co-producer, to halt production of Saturday Night Alive until the end of the strike and advised me to stop putting out content altogether. However, I'm a contrarian and I zig where they zag, okay? So for the pendency of the Writers Guild of America strike, Saturday Night Alive will be replaced with the Joe King Show. And this is not affiliated with Tom Murphy in any way, by the way, okay? Despite being a non-guild member, he stands in solidarity with the strikers, so this is all merely from his alter ego, me, Joe King. Okay, so while we will miss Saturday Night Alive while it's off, at least we were finally able to rid ourselves of Buck Henry for a while, am I right? Anyway, for the Joe King Show, I'll come out here, I'll give a little monologue, and then we'll interview a guest who's not affiliated with entertainment. Okay? Everyone out there understand? Tepid applause from the audience. King. Okay, very good. Anyway, so the writers are on strike, which is great news for the porn industry, is they're going to skip the dialogue in the beginning of the films and get straight to the fucking. So that's good. Whoopi Goldberg, I'm sure you heard that she got into some trouble a little while back for saying that Jewish people are not a, quote, race of people. Now, I didn't know they were a race either. I thought they were just an ethnic religious hybrid. But thanks to Whoopi, who seems pretty Jewish with her last name, by the way, at least now I know that they're a race of people. So if they're a race now and not just an ethnicity, well, by golly, it's over, folks. They've won the race. They're very successful people, I mean. Okay, so before I got into producing audio-only sketch comedy, I was employed as an attorney, specifically a public defender. And for those who don't know, public defenders are actual attorneys. Okay, a lot of my former clients didn't seem to know that. Okay, I joined the public defender's office to help people who couldn't afford private counsel. So then I'd go to the jail and talk to them, and I'd start telling them the possible sentences they were looking at. And often enough, many of the clients would then say, "Holy shit, do you think I need a real lawyer?" I got paid the same either way, so I tell them, "I think you do, buddy. One less thing I got to do." Okay, and regardless of whether they knew I was a real attorney or not, being a public defender, I didn't always get a lot of respect from the clients. Okay, one client in particular I can think of was a man in his 60s who was homeless and would get about 10 to 20 trespassing cases a year because he didn't have a home and would fall asleep in front of chicken shacks and different places like that. Anyway, this client had a pattern of picking up minor misdemeanor cases for trespassing, for sleeping in front of stores on the sidewalk, then never coming to court, having a warrant issued, and then getting picked up for sleeping in front of stores again, and then ending up in custody for not being able to post any money on the warrant. So then he'd be brought into court the next day, and I'd be typically assigned his cases. And he always, without fail, was very indignant about the situation and was very condescending to me, always referring to me contemptuously as sir. He'd say, "I need to get out today, sir. I don't have any money, sir. I'm not pleading guilty, sir." So this guy in custody without any money, who refuses to plead guilty, would challenge me to, quote, do my job and get him out for free without his taking of any responsibility for his actions. Okay, but eventually, at the end of the day, since he's just falling asleep outside of places at night, he's not hurting anybody, he would eventually get out after a couple of days, okay? So one time, not too long after I got him out of custody, as I was leaving the courthouse, I ran into him outside, and he was in a bad mood. Okay, I was kind of thinking he'd thank me or something like that for all the times I'd helped him out, but no. Instead, he railed on me for not being able to do my job, not knowing what I was doing, being a piece of shit, that sort of thing. I took it in stride, and I had a good laugh, knowing him to be quite the curmudgeon, okay? But this client, not appreciating my laughter, got in my face and intensely asked whether, quote, this was a, quote, game. Okay, I pretended to take off glasses I was not wearing, massage my sinuses, and explain to him that per Nicholas Bostrom's hypothesis, it is very likely we are indeed in a simulation and not in base reality. Anyway, the client did not seem to agree with Mr. Bostrom's hypothesis, as he simply told me he was done with public defenders, and instead he was going to go get himself a Jew lawyer. King walks from the stage to behind a desk and says, "Okay, folks, please welcome the inaugural guest of the Joe King Show, some people's personal savior and everyone else, regardless of being their savior or not, a real mensch, okay? Please give it up for Jesus Christ, everybody." Jesus Christ comes out from behind a curtain and waves to the dead studio audience. Applause, applause, applause. Jesus sits at a chair next to King's desk. Jesus: "Thanks for having me, Joe." King: "Thanks for being here, Jesus. I'm in a bit of a conundrum with booking guests, as you can imagine." Jesus: "Well, I'm always willing to help out a Catholic." King: "Well, actually, Jesus, I happen to be Jewish." Jesus: "Really? I thought Mr. Murphy was raised Catholic." King: "Well, sure, Mr. Murphy was raised Catholic, but I'm his alter ego, and I happen to be Jewish." Jesus: "Is that right?" King: "What can I say? I'm very proud of my self-proclaimed heritage and race, let's not forget. And, of course, I'm unapologetically pro-Semitic." Jesus: "Well, until I started my own religion, I was a Jew myself." King: That's right. People forget that. So tell us, Jesus, what was it like starting your own religion?" Jesus: "What was it like? Well, it was a lot of work, to be honest, but I found it to be quite spiritually fulfilling." King: "Why is that? Was the Jewish stuff not cutting it for you anymore?" Jesus: "No, it wasn't that. It was just that the Jewish faith for many, many years before me had predicted the coming Messiah, and I, of course, saw myself as that Messiah." King: "Does it ever bother you that us Jews, that we didn't buy what you were selling?" Jesus: "I try to not take it personally. I think the message you should get from Judaism, Christianity, etc., is not waiting for some superhero to come save you, but to instead realize that we are all children of God, and we all have God inside of us, and can all make the world a better place." Applause, applause, applause. King: "Well said, Jesus. Anyway, switching gears a little bit, what's your favorite kind of porno to watch? Are you a lesbian aficionado, or do you need some cock in there as well?" Jesus: You said there'd be no sex stuff." King: My bad. Geez, are you a prude or something?" Jesus: "No, I am just very much a spiritual being, and I've transcended the desires of the flesh." King: "So what you're saying, then, is that you're too good for sex?" Jesus: No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just no longer a man, but instead am of a spiritual nature, and would rather focus on spiritual concerns." King: "Gotcha. Okay, do you believe in aliens?" Jesus: "Of course." King: "Then where the hell are they?" Jesus: "Well, there's more going on than meets the human eye, I'll say that. Humanity should realize that there's much more in the wide range of what is potentially perceptible than that merely perceived by the five human senses." King: Very good, Jesus. Okay, now something I always wanted to ask you is, why do bad things happen to good people? Jesus: I know I don't have a movie to plug or anything, but man, these are some hard-hitting questions. King: Well, you're the self-proclaimed savior. It is something I think you should be able to answer. Jesus: Well, of course I can answer. There's free will here in the physical realm, meaning that just about anything can happen to anybody. But it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you deal with it.
And those who deal with it by living their lives the right way will be rewarded after death in the kingdom of heaven.
King, now I heard a rumor that the kingdom of heaven is segregated. Is that true? Jesus.
No, that's completely false.
King, so are you denying the existence of black heaven? Jesus.
Heaven is for everybody. We don't delineate it based on race.
King, very good, very good. And of course, Jews can get into heaven too, correct? Jesus.
Of course.
King, even if they don't believe you're the Messiah? Jesus.
Heaven is not about stroking my ego. It's about treating other people the way you'd like to be treated. So for all of the great and wonderful Jewish people who do that, of course they'll be welcomed into the kingdom of heaven.
King, very good. Okay, now one last question for you. You used to kick boots with Mary Magdalene, yes or no? Jesus.
I said I didn't want to talk about sex.
King, so is that a yes or a no? Jesus.
I'm not giving an answer because this wasn't supposed to revolve around my sex life.
King, okay, very good. Jesus Christ, everybody. Applause, applause, applause. King. Folks, we hope you enjoyed the show. I'm sure you'll be missing Belushi, Farley, and all the rest of the Saturday Night Live crew as much as me. But they refuse to come on until the strike is over. So tune into the next episode of The Joe King Show, where I'll be interviewing someone not in the field of entertainment. So remember, this is Joe King, and I'm not joking.